Hello everyone, it's Friday night. It is not a normal tutorial night, but we are catching up and doing part 2 of our turkey tutorial. Wouldn't that have been a tongue twister on Tuesday night of this week when we were supposed to do this, that it was supposed to be part 2 of 2 Tutorial Tuesday turkey tutorial. So funny. Hey, if y'all haven't joined up for the text alerts yet, please go ahead and do that. You can do that by texting the word live stream to 540-870-0726. Hey, y'all. Look, I'm okay. I just got a really severe headache. I tend to get them when the pressure in our area changes, and I literally was just incapacitated. I would not leave you all hanging if it was not serious, but literally it was not suitable for me to be on camera. It would have been a whole calamity of crazy stuff going on. So hi you guys. Hey Deborah, how are you? I feel so much better. Like yesterday I felt human again. Because when you get a bad headache, and it wasn't a migraine, but when you get a really bad headache like that, it's like it takes a couple days to recover, right? To get out of the funk. Hey, Miss Charlotte, how are you? Hi, Sally. How was your week? I hope your lectures were good this week. Hey, Myra, how are you doing? So excited. So can I brag on Myra for a minute? You all see her name there. She's the greatest lady. So Tuesday, when I was just absolutely incapacitated, and I was like, first of all, I get very upset if I have to reschedule or I have to change something on you guys. I can't stand that. I like to be, how do they say that? You're late if you're not early. I'm that person. So, I don't like changing things, and I don't like interrupting other people's schedule. But anyway, I'm on the couch under the covers. I've got hot compress on my head. I've taken medicine. I'm in my PJs, like wrapped up as much as I can get. And there's a knock at the door at like 8:30 at night. We never get a knock on the door at 8:30 at night. Plus, it was very dark. There was no extra moonlight. And Myra, remember Myra went somewhere, and I said online to her, I was talking to her online. She was going to, weren't you in Vegas, Myra? And I said, Myra, go win big so that you can get a Cricut machine and send me a Cricut machine. And she said, I might do that. And so anyway, knock on the door, 8:30, it's UPS. And a Cricut Maker 3 was delivered to my door. And Myra, so happy, because I'm going to roll that forward, and I'm going to bring it back to the group, and I'm going to be working on things for you guys that we can use in our projects. And so listen, y'all need to ask for crickets for Christmas. Not like crickets when people ghost you on getting cookie orders, not that kind of crickets. Ask for a Cricut Maker, because I took a class at CookieCon with Nancy Westfall, and it was fantastic. And so I have been steady designing stencil layouts. So I'm going to be able to bring those to the group. And Myra, you made me so happy that night. I literally cried. Now, I have to confess, I'm not sure if it was all joy, tears of happiness, or if it was because I just had a moment of relief from that severe headache. But I was so happy and so excited, and I can't thank you enough. So I'm going to absolutely roll that forward and use it to keep our cookie group growing. Okay, so you guys get ready. And Myra has a Cricut Maker already, or a Cricut. I'm not sure she has the Maker, but she has a Cricut. But thank you. Hey, Sabra. Hey, whoever this is, let's StreamYard. When you get that notice that I'm going live, tell it it's okay to show your name. And is it Marcy Lynn? Just guessing, just wondering. Hey, Nadine. Yeah, it doesn't happen to me when I lived further south. It's when It's in Virginia. It happened to me the whole time I was growing up here, and then since we've moved back, and it's usually this time of year, and it's the strangest kind of headache. Like your head actually just feels like it's in a vice grip. The pressure is so intense. And honestly, I don't think I could have taken any more sinus medicine. I don't think it would have done the thing to help me. Hey, Miss Debbie, how are you? Yes, and it wears you. Oh, your lectures were good. I'm so excited. Good, 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 good. Hello there. Thank you. And it does. And then I was trying to stay on time for our kits to get that done. So excited. Did you guys see? I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I have to tell you, I was so happy that you guys liked that kit and the cookie we're going to make so much that that kit sold out in 9 minutes. And let me clarify the 9 minutes. My friend got back on to try to order another kit, and you couldn't even put them in your shopping cart at 3:04. So I think it took people that additional amount of time to get checked out because it holds it in the cart for a certain amount of minutes. So I think really you guys had spoken for all of them, and I was so happy that you liked the cookie and that you wanted the kit and that that is going so well because it's risky for me because I'm ordering a lot of this stuff 3 and 4 months ahead of time. So I always am like in that at the end, are they all going to sell? Will this all be gone? You know, what's going to happen? But you guys, boy, that, and it was fun. It was fun sitting here watching that. So it definitely brought me up a little bit when that was happening. For sure it did. Sharon, you too. I'm sorry. I feel for you. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Wasn't Timbo's class today great? He sculpted all of the, well, not all of them, but it was the last day of that turkey dinner set, basically. Coolest cookies. I'm learning so many little things, pieces in that, just not little quantity, but things that I needed to know how to do and didn't realize I was lacking the knowledge until I'm seeing, and then I'm like, it's stuff I've been struggling to figure out for something I'm working on. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. Thank you. He is a good instructor. He broke it down. It was great. Yes. Hey, how are you? And it's sinus. It's this time of year. And I haven't had them so bad in the spring since we moved back home. But boy, this time of year, when it goes from like, plus my husband reminded me we turned the heat on like the day before that, right? So that kind of hit me too. And so now I'll have a humidifier running the rest of the winter season. Hello, Camille. How are you? I hope you have had a great day. Let's see who's making royal icing. That sounds fun. So I had to remix all my icing. Nadine, I am telling you what, I do have fairy godmothers, and I am so thankful for them that I try to bring everything back to the group so that everyone can benefit. So I'm so excited about that. I was elated. Yes, because Nancy's a great teacher, and there's tons and tons of videos in her group. Tons. Hello there. Hey, Jen. Hi, Julie. Oh, it's Julie. Hey, how are you? Hey, Lavelle, how are you? And Julie's making royal icing. Okay, cool. Well, listen, I wanted to show you. Remember I told you this was the turkey cutter. If anybody's on, I don't know if Jen's on or if Sally OL is on or not, but if you are, you guys drop the link in again for this turkey cutter. If not, it's in the part 1 video. And it actually comes with inset pieces here to make like holes in the plumage on the turkey. But I told you about that in part 1, so you'll have to go back and watch that about how I take those out. I did save those little bits to use them for something else, but I took out those extra pieces because it didn't work with the design that I was working on. And then I told you I did a couple of cookies. I went ahead and baked a couple extra cookies with this leaf cutter. And I don't even remember where I got this. So you guys just basically look at it for design and pull a leaf cutter that you have that's similar. But look, how perfect is this to make the turkey wing, right? Even if you want to flip it, because I wanted my wing to sit up a little higher. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're going to make the wing with this. so that it'll come up a little. So it changes our design just slightly, but not bad, not a lot. But you don't have to use this. You can do everything we're going to do tonight on the flat turkey. And remember, this is a super big, hey, Jen, thank you for dropping that in there. This is a super big turkey. It's very large. Let me just grab my handy dandy ruler. Let's see. So this at its widest is 7.5, and at its tallest points, we're looking at 7 inches. So it's a very big cookie. So you could pre-cut this cookie using a pizza cutter or a knife or something, even a cake scraper, you know, a cake lifter. So into pieces if you wanted to make it like a puzzle. But for the purposes of our tutorial, we're not doing that because I think it's easy enough on a cookie like this. You just break it apart, just break a piece off. Like for a family celebration, nobody would be upset about that. And then I had put this in, and I showed you in part 1 how I just knocked this part off of the cookie so that we could turn this into a cornucopia. But just so that I don't get worn out tonight because I have to go into the bakery super early in the morning, we're just going to do the turkey tonight. And then tomorrow I'll be finishing up all the info to let everybody that bought the limited edition Christmas class into the Christmas group. Your boxes are all done. Isn't that exciting? They're all done. They just need labels and they're out the door on Monday. So that's exciting. So I'll do the cornucopia next week. It's going to be what we're going to do on Tuesday. Okay. And I'll have all the information of things you should gather and have ready for that on Tuesday in the part 1 session. However, I will tell you, if you make up icing to do this tutorial, just make a little bit extra because it's the same colors and consistencies that we're going to use to do the cornucopia. So after this tutorial, if you make this weekend, don't take your icing and turn it into kitchen sink icing and make it black and put it in the freezer, okay? Just keep your separate colors because we're going to be using it next week, okay? All right, so that's your 2 cutters, and this is just a leaf cutter, and I'm sorry, it's not labeled. I've had it for years. I don't know where it came from. I suspect it's an Ann Clark because of the size and because of the way it's constructed, but I can't be positive. So just maybe check on Amazon for large leaf metal cookie cutters and see if you can find something similar. If not, you could easily hand cut something in this shape, okay? Debbie, let's talk about that. Did you see the post is being rationed? I didn't see a post about it being rationed, but I saw Jenny's post that they were going to be, due to supply chain issues and supplier issues, that they were not going to have their normal quantities. And so, of course, I'm sure I did what everyone else did, checked my stock immediately, and I jumped on Creative Cookier site to try to order some right away. But it looked to me this morning like everything was sold out except their sample size bags. But I was able to pick some up somewhere else a couple of weeks ago from a different supplier when I needed to hit a certain amount to get free shipping. So I think I'm going to be fine until the first of the year. So hopefully that's going to come around and improve for all of them, because I'm sure it's not just them. It's probably industry wide and an issue with getting meringue powder. So hopefully that's going to work itself out. But it is the sort of thing that is affecting all of us business owners now, because it's just a supply chain issue. Like seriously. Now I saw this morning there were still some available from Cookie Countess. So if you are looking for some, check there. They had some this morning. I have no idea if they still do tonight, but yeah, so check there. And then of course in your Christmas boxes, both the Christmas boxes, the limited edition and then the regular one that's going to release next week, both of your boxes have 1 batch in there. So I'm still going to go ahead and put that in everybody's boxes. So you guys have got a good screenshot on your cutters, right? For what you need tonight and next week. So I'm going to pull this paper towel out of the way, okay? Hold on 1 second. Let me just roll over here. All right, so what we have tonight that we're going to be using a nice bright orange. We're going to be doing a nice bright red, and I've already trimmed the tips off these bags. So red, orange, yellow. Roy G. Biv. Did y'all learn that in school? Red, orange, yellow. We're going to work in this color order. And I've got a nice neon yellow for my yellow. And then I have a brown to make the turkey body. And remember when we talked about this part 1 on Tuesday in the noon broadcast, that they're all thick consistency. So 25 to 30 seconds. Okay. And then I had a little bit of black left because I forgot to bring home a black PME pearl. So I have that, but I'm not sure if we're going to finish the face up tonight or if we'll finish that up in the morning. So I am going to be doing my turkey facing right. I'm not sure if that's how it's showing up on your screen or not, but I'm going to do mine facing right because I'm right-handed and because the technique we're going to use is a technique that you can also use to make beautiful Christmas trees. Once you see it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But the technique we're going to use to do the plumage on the turkey and this area here, and then also to do the wing, how we're going to do that, we're going to work in this order: red, orange, yellow. Can you see? Yeah, red, orange, yellow. That's the order we're going to work in. And I may not finish the face tonight, just to let you know, because I need to make a little bit of flood icing because I changed the face up a few hours ago because I found a really cute face so that I can make it look like his head is turned and looking at you instead of sideways. I was going to make him all serious, but now that I'm feeling better, I want him to be a little more lively and light. So I'm going to show you I might do the other face in the morning and have him look at you. So for tonight, you need your thick brown, thick yellow, and that's neon yellow. That's neon orange. And this is red rose from the sugar art. Okay. Oh, by the way, did you guys see the post in the Cookie Snack Attack group today that the sugar art has released their holiday collections? So there are some new things in there that are super gorgeous. So definitely check that out. Okay. And you don't need a coupon code or anything because they've already got the sets at a slight discount. So I would pick that up too. And mostly I'm saying pick that up, even though it's only the 12th of November, because shipping is just going to be a bear this entire season. It's not going to get any better. In fact, I look for it to get much worse, which is why I'm pushing to get both of these Christmas kits out of here and out of the store and into the system as soon as possible, because I want to make sure that you all have them in plenty of time. I suspect we'll be fine right now, but I also suspect come the 1st of December that's all going to turn upside down again. So we'll see. I don't want to call anything bad out on anything, but it's just knowing how long it's taking me to get supplies, to get box orders, to get cupcake liners, just to get basic things. There's other stuff that's coming down the pike too. I think before Christmas is over, we'll have trouble getting eggs. We're going to have a flour and sugar issue again, but just do what you can to put the things up that you can put up. So let's pop back to the turkey. And I hope all of you listened to me over a month ago when I told you to buy your Thanksgiving turkeys early if you are turkey people, because they're very low and there's a lot of people that are not able to get them. So they're going to be having chicken for Thanksgiving, but I did tell you. All right, so guys, this is the cutter. See, and I just lopped that off. So you can use this same shape to make a cornucopia, if you can get that in your mind, if you can see it. But then when I had it laying on top of the turkey, when I moved the turkey on Tuesday, I was like, oh, I'm going to do a lifted wing because that's just cute, right? All right, so I'm going to sketch, and I'm glad you guys are getting it. And I've already got on my Thanksgiving stuff here because I was just worried about it. By the way, one of the greatest things to come out of this horrible pandemic is grocery delivery. Just saying. I personally love it. I love not going into the grocery store, and it's very, very nice. So I hope it doesn't go away when things settle down. I hope that's one of the things that stays. Okay, so if you want to sketch on your cookie at home, you could technically, if you use the same colors as me, sketch this one in black because you're going to cover all of it up. But normally just remember that I sketch in black because I'm on video with an edible ink marker because I want you to see it, okay? But at home, I always recommend that you guys sketch in yellow because even under white, yellow doesn't really show up. If you miss covering the whole line, it doesn't bleed through the color. So just remember that little trick if you're new to cooking and you like to sketch. So I'm just going to mark where this is in a couple of places because I don't want to do too much icing. What I want to do is do this. We're going to do the thick brown for the body. So I want to do my plumage here and here. I want to and put the thick brown on the rest of the turkey, but I don't want it to be so thick that I can't nestle this cookie down in it, right? Like I don't want to bring the tail feathers too far down so that it makes the wings stick up. That's not really what I want to go for here. Okay, so I'm just going to mark it in a couple spots, basically just so I don't forget where to bring the tail feathers, because by the time I get done, before I add the wing, I'm not going to be able to see where this line is. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Ta-da! All right, to the side. Do you like all my crazy sound effects for you? I feel like I need one of those old radio show boards where they have the fake applause and they have the like the whirly noises. Do you know all the, you know what I'm talking about? I feel like I need that. All right, now typically guys, I would cut this at like a 2-point, but for the technique we're going to do tonight, I'm going to cut this a little bit wider. So just take a look if you can. Hopefully you can see this. I'm going to cut it more like what a small round cake opening would be. So about the size of, hi sweetheart. No, I can't help you right now. You have to go get daddy. Hey babe. Penny needs you. So let me see. I'm trying to give you something. Okay, so it's cut to about, it's always good to have a visual because between the distance up here on the camera and down here, you can't really tell what it is. So this is just a little dauber brush. So like a paintbrush, right? A little bit less than 1/4 of an inch opening on the tip of that bag, just to give you an idea. Okay. All right. He'll be here in a minute, girls. You'll be fine. So there's a couple of ways that you could do this. You guys know I love brush embroidery. So if I get a chance to do a second turkey, I'm going to do it brush embroidery. But I had promised someone that I would show them how to do what we're about to do because they wanted to know how to do it so they could get started on oh yeah, yeah, she probably heard my pup Charlotte. So I told someone I would show them how to do this so they could get started on their Christmas tree samples. So I'm going Roy G. Biv order. So red, orange, yellow. You can do it however you want to. You can also add little scallop loops in here and do sugar. But I want to show you how quick you could actually do these turkeys. And these would be a nice turkey to sell as a large piece that you can do really fast. I mean, really, they're not going to take that much time. So you guys just hang with me. I'll talk in between, but I'm going to go quickly through it, okay? So you could do brush embroidery if you want to make them fancier. I'm squeezing and pulling out, okay? If it doesn't go fast enough for you, then cut the tip of your bag even a little bit bigger. So I'm squeezing and making a dollop, and then I'm pulling it down. Now, you could leave it just like this. It'd look beautiful, okay? But that's not what we're going to do. So I also would recommend that you have a small bowl because what we're about to do, once you see what I'm doing, you're going to be scraping icing off. So have a small bowl set to the side that can you see I have to concentrate when I'm piping that ball on the end? I don't know why, but that I have to concentrate on, so I can't talk when I'm doing it. So have a small bowl set to the side because all the icing you scrape off, you can turn into kitchen sink icing. Now, my icing, it doesn't matter if it crusts a little bit as long as you keep steady movement because you're going to be wanting that texture anyway. Okay, so I'm not doing 3. If it was brush embroidery, I'd only do a couple of these and it would be a smaller tip and I'd have to stop and come back, okay? But for the purposes of this, I don't need to. Now I've got my baby spoon and I'm just getting it just slightly wet in the water off to the side and I'm going to squish this down and wipe it, squish, Squish. You see why you need the bowl? Because you see I'm taking a considerable amount off. You can see it over here. And then every couple of times, just dampen it and wipe it off. Okay. And you can do this with a brush if you want. If you don't care about it being a brush embroidery look, but you want this pulled look, you can do it with a thicker brush as long as you're not worried about, keeping the lines. If you want to do true brush embroidery, you're going to have to make it really small brush because you want to see the brush strokes. Normally people want to see the brush strokes when they do brush embroidery. They want it to look like embroidery work. So you can see what we're doing. And I'm kind of dragging it long. I'm bringing it in a good distance, right? Now, the other thing, the reason I like this is because it doesn't put too much icing on the actual cookie that people are consuming. So sometimes some of the cookies that I do for you guys, they have so much icing on them. I'm like, I wonder if anybody's even going to enjoy that when they eat it because it's going to make it so sweet. So this one is nice because you're thinning it, right? So even when you crack this, it's like got the normal, when you crack it to put it in pieces for people to eat it, it's got a normal amount of icing on it. You can also do this with, I told you a brush already, but you can also do it with a rounded or triangular tip palette knife, like a cake palette knife. But I'm giving you something that you would have already gotten in a kit along the way. So just something you can use. So I always want you guys to think outside the box on what you can use for your tools. Because even though we all like to have all of the things, you don't have to have all of the things all of the time, right? You see what I'm saying? All right, so let me flip this. Now, in actuality, I didn't really scrape that much off, but I was also very careful about how much I put on. So let me just show you. I didn't really take that much off. Do you see? Hey, Sally, how are you? Turkey tail, back feathers. I'm going to call it Sally, I'm going to call it a turkey tail. All right. And let me lift it so you can see what we're starting to build because it's just pretty. And you can use a wider opening on your bag and make less of the feathers, but turkeys really have a lot of very small feathers. So it just depends on what you're going for. But you can see the consistency of the icing is such that it's holding all that detail. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and let me pinch the tip of this bag off so it's not drying out because we're going to come back and do red again. Pat, am I frozen for anybody else? Because on my two devices I'm watching, I show that I'm still talking and moving. Okay, so it's not a flower tip, the one I was talking about, but just the round opening cake tips. So this would be one of the smaller ones. I don't have the item number because I don't ever use it for this because I like to do this with just a tipless bag so I don't have to clean all that. Like anything I can do without having to clean the tips. I go through so many every day because of doing the cupcakes and cakes that probably about a 6 labelle, but I can't be sure unless I look at it. So I can put that in the comments tomorrow. All right, so let's come back. Let's see how much orange. So let's see that. All right, so red, orange, yellow, Roy G. Biv. So we're going to start just down here, right? Because we don't want to build up so much icing and we want to see all those cool lines that we got. So we're going to start about halfway down, big ball, pull in. Now you can split the difference between your colors as in go in between, or you can go an exact line with what you did. Does that make sense? So you could go over and cover that overlap, or you can stay right in the same grooves. And that really is a design choice of what you want that to look like. And you'll see what I mean in just a second, because when I get a little further up, I'm going to show you both ways. And it is a really big cookie. I think I measured it at the beginning, and if my memory is serving me correctly, I believe it's like 7.5 by 7. So it's a family cookie. This would easily serve 6 to 8 people at a dinner table if you wanted to just break it up after Thanksgiving dinner and everybody have a little bit. You could easily break it up. And I mentioned that we're not breaking it up because of the particular technique that we're using. That's why I didn't go ahead and cut it to be a puzzle cookie. Okay, so I've got my damp baby spoon. Give this a good cleaning. We don't want red in the orange. We do want the colors to stay isolated because that's part of what makes it so pretty. You don't share. Well, you could keep the cookie the whole time. Just keep putting it back in a Ziploc bag, I guess, right? All right, so a little bit of damp on there. You ready? I'm just pulling down. I can mainly only do 3 passes. You know, sometimes, guys, it's annoying, but you have to do every pass. It just really depends on what the icing feels like and how far it's spreading. Because you can see what's happening is it's actually covering the cookie the further down I pull it. Like it's spreading out, so it's creating a bed of icing. So really what I'm using this for is to get that indentation in the top of the feather. Anybody have any questions so far? And it doesn't take that long. I'm stopping to talk to you and read questions and stuff, but it really doesn't take that long. And again, you can do it with a wide rounded tip brush if you want to. Now just make sure you don't introduce too much water back onto the cookie. When you're dipping, it's for purposes of cleaning and then just wiping that off. You don't want to put too much back on the cookie. Now those, when you get in the corners, they get a little tight. So if you want that to be a little more defined, just do a bigger ball and spread the ball out before you pull it in. Okay, just get a wider ball. And I'll show you what I mean on the yellow because it's going to get real tight on the yellow. Okay, so I have a little bit too much water. You can see it showing up on camera right here. So I'm just going to just barely touch that icing with my paper towel and see if it'll pull that water up. Just going to see if it'll soak some of it up. Usually just the end of a paper towel, that water will just come right to it. Did y'all ever have I think it was 7th grade science class. We had a chameleon in class that year, and that's how we gave the chameleon water for some reason. We had a bowl outside of the tank, and we had a strip of paper towels that we pulled off the roll in a long roll and then folded it, and one end went into the water bowl outside the tank and the other end went into the tank. That way we never opened the tank. I'm sure that was so that little guy would not escape. That's probably why they made us do it that way, but there could have been another reason. But in doing that, I realized that if you just something very small like this, if you ever have to do a little repair job, this works great. You see it? It's just running into the paper towel. So if you see it, if you notice it, and I'm noticing it because I'm getting the glare off the ring light. So I just want to get it before I go too far because I don't want it to make a cloudy look on the icing as it dries, and I don't want it to make the color bleed, right? One of the things I like about this technique is the division. All right, so let's cut the yellow tip, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow. So let's cut this just a little bit wider. We're getting closer down, so we're going to make it look like it's a smidge bigger. So ball, and then stop squeezing and pull. Ball, stop squeezing and pull. So it's these beautiful teardrop shapes, you see? And you see we're about halfway down on the other color because we don't want to waste all that cool design work by putting the teardrop blobs too close together. Now, this would be great if you had like a 6-inch cookie turntable. And if you don't have one, I'll tell you how to make one real quick. I forgot to bring mine home, but I got one of those baby turntables, like what was in our, oh, Sabre, I didn't know that. That's cool. I got one of those baby turntables, like what was in our Halloween kit. I think it was our Halloween kit. And then I went to the dollar store and I bought a 6-inch glass cutting board. and I used the non-skid 3-inch disc in pink that we got from Creative Cookier that was in our Halloween kit. And I put that on top of the baby turntable. And then I put that 6-inch cutting board, that glass cutting board on top, and made a turntable to work on cookies this size because it is handy. It's handy if you have a bigger turntable when you're doing these cookies. I got some orange in there. Now, the other thing to remember is don't scrape so low on the cookie that you pull the color under the top color up. Like, don't scrape so low that you start to see orange through your yellow. Is that how y'all say orange? Do you say it differently? People comment and send me messages all the time that I pronounce things very differently, and they're asking me if that's an East Coast thing, and I say I have no idea. Sometimes, guys, I'm tired and I make up my own language. And I've noticed there's some words since I've been on camera that when I first started rewatching videos, I would notice that it didn't come through clearly what I was trying to say. So now I probably over pronunciate them, but you know, it is what it is. Just doing the best job we can do. All right, so we know our wing is going to go roughly there, so we don't want to go any further, okay? All right, but we do want to do this little area down here, so let's do a little bit there. I just want to give it a little bit of highlight off to the side, though. I'm not going to do the whole wing because I need that bottom part. I think it needs to start working in the brown. Now, I wouldn't jump off the live stream tonight too early because I have Seriously Sweet Cookie Snack Attack Unplugged Cookie Retreat 2022 information. I'll give you a little bit of information tonight. Okay, we're still not to where you can do anything because we're waiting on a code, but I will give you the week that the Unplugged conference is going to happen in case you need to put in for vacation for our cookie retreat. I'll tell you the maximum number of people that we can take, and I'm going to give you an idea. I'm not going to give you the schedule yet because it's not confirmed, but I'm going to give you an idea of the schedule that I have planned for the event and how we're going to cookie. So, and there'll be more information coming as we get closer. But I have some information. I had a very successful trip to the top of the mountain this Wednesday. Very happy about everything that Miss Helen was able to work out for us. And I'm really hoping that it's something that you guys come to and enjoy and something we could do yearly because it would just tickle me pink to have you all visit the Blue Ridge Mountains every year. I'm not going to swear to it, but I believe you live longer if you spend time in the mountains and calm down every once in a while. Sometimes life just gets out of hand. Everybody's okay? I think we need to go up a little bit. Do you think that'll help a little right there? All right, now we're going to stop there. I'm not going to do the yellow because we're going to scrape the brown on real quick. So a thingamajiggy will work, a wider boo-boo stick, because you definitely want it to look like it's been spackled. So we're going to use our brown. And this can be thick because we're going to nestle the wing down into it. So right from the brown, when you get ready to do this, we're going to do the brown. Then we're going to immediately jump and add that last little bit of yellow. Then we're going to nestle in our naked wing. Okay, so you have to move fast, okay? John Denver music, I believe it. I believe it. Hey, by the way, if you are a person that is going to attend Cookie Snack Attack, I'm not Snack Attack, the Cookie Snack Attack Sugar Cookie Retreat. If you are definitely going to be attending that and you sing, I need to know if I have any singers in our group. Now, I'm going to scrape the whole cookie because remember I said tomorrow I'd come back and do the cute face. So I'm going to get brown on everything, even where the warbler, which I always call the gobble wobble, the wobbler. But I'm gonna go ahead and do brown even there because I want to knock away that blonde look of the sugar cookie, okay? But I don't need to cover the foot because we wanna make a little outline foot down here. So just put enough on there that you can make a nice thick, I'll show you what I'm doing so you can see. Okay, so now we don't wanna take all this off, okay? So we're gonna use our thingamajiggy, okay? If you bought the limited, and I don't sing either. I play the radio real good. So, um, thingamajiggy, if you are getting either of the Christmas kits and you don't have this, don't buy one because there's one in your kit. All right, so I'm just gonna be scraping this all different directions. I really just want it to look like stucco. I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want it to be smooth. I want it to be real rough looking. Now, here's the trick. When you get over here, you need to pull a little bit over to your colors without messing up your colors. You see what I just did? How I pulled some over? And now I'm going to use this and just kind of work it in there. So we want it to look like concrete stucco work. You see what I'm doing? This is a great cookie to let your grandkids decorate too, because honestly, they can't mess it up. This is like not a cookie anybody's gonna get upset and say, "Oh, my turkey's not pretty." No matter how you do this turkey with this technique, it's gonna look good. Okay. Let's just spread it out and then we'll go back and make some particular turns. But remember that whole area where the wing is gonna be covered. So you don't have to get too fancy with your sculpting over there because this is really like doing royal icing sculpting. Now, the brown, you can see I'm taking a significant amount of brown off because I want to have something to stick my wing cookie into, right? So here, it doesn't matter if these colors mix right here because my wing, that's why I sketched where my wing was going to be. So I'm going to put just a little bit more brown down so that I have almost like a nice cement, okay? Remember, we have to get the brown down, put that last little bit of yellow in place, and then we're going to put the naked wing on and we'll finish our wing up. And tomorrow we'll finish his face, okay? And tomorrow, if you did buy the limited edition Christmas box, as soon as I get done with the pickups in the morning at the store, then I'll shift over because I decided instead of just getting you into the group and there being nothing there, I'd wait until I had time to load the first round of breakout videos for making royal icing and making cookie dough. I'd wait till I had time to put all them in, and I didn't have time to do that today. I really got behind when I got that headache Tuesday. All right, now watch this. I want you to see this because this is handy at Christmas too for texture. Okay, I'm making these cool lines, right, to look like stucco, like how they put concrete on a wall. And this is all over any place that has hurricanes. This is, you know, they build cinder block houses, right? But watch this. Just watch on camera, okay? Because this is fantastic for a different type of thing. But if you lay this thingamajiggy down, do you see how you can pull pockets of icing up? Like you get that suction. Do you see what it does? You see? So handy thing to know and experiment with while you're doing this, because this you can just cover it up right away. So it's good practice. Now don't get too fussy about right here because remember that's where we're gonna put the second section of the wing. If you don't want to do this second cookie to make a lifted wing, remember, don't worry. You just have to do this and let it dry. Then you're going to come back and finish a wing right here, okay? It just depends on if you want a more serious bird, a more comical looking fun bird. Are you sculpting this for a very traditional Thanksgiving? Or do you have a lot of grandkids or little kids? Like, know your audience, play to your audience. It doesn't do any good to have somebody make you super expensive cookies for Thanksgiving. Just kind of look to see where your wing's going to be and then finish out your yellow real quick. It doesn't do any good if you're doing that for little kids because little kids just want to touch it and taste it. They don't care that you spent $15 a cookie or something. You know what I'm saying? So know your audience. Dabbing in the water when it gets a little too ick. I don't like it like that. All right. Let's put this down here. Let's get our naked wing on there. And do you see why I wanted to do the yellow? Because you can see enough of it that I feel like it matters. So let's get that in place. Isn't that cool? What a fun turkey. Okay, now for the time being, just so I don't forget to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do his little foot. But first I have to get some icing off my hand because somehow in all of that I got icing on my hand. And it looks like, you know, on camera, it looks like we're doing this little 4-inch cookie, but it's not a little 4-inch cookie. It's a great big cookie. It's 7 inches by 7.5. Now, if you find that you've cut the tip of your orange thick icing too thick to make the foot look right, then what I would suggest, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off because we're going to need it in just a second, so I don't want it to get too crusty. Pat, I'm seeing a question about the cutters. When this live's over and everything posts, because I don't think you can scroll up while the live is on, but they did post the cutters a little bit earlier in the comments. So you can get the cutters. So we're going to try to do his foot real quick. But if you find that you cut this too wide, then just drop it into a thinner bag like this. I mean, in an uncut bag, just drop it into the bag. Okay. And cut a smaller opening, like a 2-point opening. Because remember, we have ours cut to a large. Just drop it into a thinner one and go ahead and do your foot. And a turkey foot is so easy. In fact, you know, I'm always mesmerized. We had a property in Amosville, Virginia, and we used to have wild turkeys across the property, like just big clusters of them. And they were really fast. Like we would watch them and take photos and stuff. It was another one of my protected animals. I didn't let anybody come hunt them because I enjoyed watching them so much. But they were fast. And I was always mesmerized by how those big fat birds could run on those teeny tiny feet and not fall over constantly. But they did it. All right, so I'm just pressure piping here to get his turkey toes. It's probably not what they're really called, but I'm in a good mood tonight. Turkey toes. Okay. And then I'm double layering it with the thick icing because I want it to stand up a little bit. If you're wondering why it looks like I'm going back and doing it a second time, it's because I'm going back and doing it a second time. I just want it to be stacked. All right, but then his little toes are done. All right, so you can clean that up more if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and pull this back out of this bag because I need the wider opening. And I'm just going to clean the tip off so I don't get all sticky in a minute. Okay. And actually, because this stuff is already starting to dry, I'm going to drop it into this bag so that I don't get little crispy bits all over my work area. So just give me a second. I always try to combine all this stuff. Oh. And my little tips, I always keep something over here for the little bag tips that I cut off. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to come back and turn his head. Or do you guys want me to just finish him tonight with the serious face? If we do the serious face, I can do it with the thick icing. Well, you guys message that while I start on his wing. So we're going back to Roy G. Biv, and we need our baby spoon again and a little bit of water, okay? And these paper towels keep leaping off. All right, so we're going to clean the bag off again, and now we're going to do this turkey wing, and we're going to run red. So I might have to rotate them. I'm not sure yet. You want to go comical? Okay. And Allison wants me to finish it. And I can't do the serious and then cover it up with the comical, but I will show you how to do this area tonight. We'll do that. So maybe we'll do that. And then tomorrow, because it won't be hard for you to do it, it just needs to be drier. But I could post it finished, his cute little face. But I've got to stop to mix up icing, and that just takes so long. All right, now I'm going to do the top row of this red. And these are about, if you're wondering, because it's hard to tell on camera, like how long this is, because the camera's way up here. This is about 1 inch. I'm doing about 1 inch strips. And remember I said if you want them to be more segmented, then what you're going to want to do is just build up bigger balls before you start pulling in. Do you see? So there's more separation. So you can do that. I just like the way it looks with the other. But if you find that you're using way too much icing and you're not comfortable, then just switch to a smaller ball before you start pulling in. By the way, if you do a bunch of these turkeys, you'll be ready for wedding season, because this is the technique on how you do a lot of the wedding florals. All right, I'm going to start here, and I'm pulling in, and I want to leave that nice rounded tip. Okay. And the water is just to help me keep the spoon clear so that I get that nice divot in my icing, because that's what I'm after, is that nice, since I'm not taking my time to do a brush embroidery turkey, I want that nice divot. So whatever tool you're using to do the pull needs to be rounded, or you're not going to get that rounded look at the tip, okay? It doesn't have to be a baby spoon. This just size-wise was sized appropriately for this cookie, because this is a big cookie. If you're going to work on a smaller cookie and you want a lot of detail, then you're going to want to use a smaller rounded tool, or like the triangle end on a palette knife, okay? They're called flocks. Are they really called flocks? That's what I was going to say, but I wasn't sure if that was the right lingo. All right. So now we're going to come back in. And the reason this time I didn't go all the way around is because they're working in that direction, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have to flip it or not. Because the last time I made this turkey, the prototype I made for you guys didn't have this lifted wing. Now look, if you want to get super obsessive like I used to do, I tell you these things all the time, but if you want to get really obsessive, you could have taken 5 minutes out, got your airbrush gun out and some brown airbrush paint, edible paint, and you could have sprayed the edges of this cookie so that the cookie is brown on the edges instead of the blonde sugar cookie look, okay? This would also be a great cookie to do in chocolate, in my opinion, if you like chocolate cookies. It would look really nice on top of chocolate. Now I'm going to spin it because I'm right-handed and I need to pull this direction, okay? It is a big cookie, but it's nice because it's meant to be like something you'd put on a platter with some fancy decor underneath it and then have it after dinner. That's if the grandkids don't steal it and run off with it. I'm clean my spoon up just a little bit, which I normally do not do over my cookies, but I'm just trying to show you every single step so that you guys know you can do this. So pulling in at the tip and pulling down, and practice a few times on a paper towel, because getting it in just the right spot in the blob of icing and then pulling down, that's the trick of the whole thing. Okay. That is really it, is that you don't go all the way to the cookie at the very top. It's when you get down here that you actually scrape the cookie, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's actually making a downward direction. I feel like I'm pulling more red off this time than last time, so I must have put these balls closer together. The ball of icing, they must be closer, or they're just because they're coming in these directions and crossing over a little bit. Now, the other thing, guys, if in this project you see did you see what I just did? That I dropped that little bit of red went on my orange. Just get that out before it dries, or push it down into the icing. If it's thick enough icing, you can just tap it down in and be done with it. All right, now we're going to switch over to orange. And before I do that though, because I want to finish up with my yellow, I want that to be the last thing. I'm going to go ahead and do my spackling technique on this part of the wing and just get some color, right? And I want the whole wing to be really bright. This is a fun technique to do on fall leaves too. Leaves it's not as fun because the leaves aren't as big, so you can't, it's just not as much room to work if you want to do it on a leaf. But fall colored leaves on a platter with a turkey like this with like a wet on wet technique would be gorgeous. And that way you could do multiple sizes in your leaves. So if the kids want a cookie before dinner, who cares if they eat a little 1-inch sugar cookie? Really, just let them have fun at their holiday dinner. Right? So then you don't have to be screaming at them that they ruined their dinner. Give them those little 1/2-inch maple leaf cookies. All right, now this is supposed to look a little smaller, so I'm just making my swipes. I want it to look, that textured look of feathers. So you can see I'm going in one direction because I want the eye to start reading in that direction for the way the wing is. You see that? All right, now what we need to do right here, this is kind of important because otherwise it won't be dry enough. Take your thingamajiggy and make sure this part of the icing, just pull that little bit of extra off of there because it'll be too much by the time you get there with the yellow. It'll be too much icing sitting there. All right, let's spin this guy back around and we're going orange again. Isn't it pretty? Don't you love these colors? Fall colors are so much fun to decorate with. But I probably say that about every season because I also love wedding season and doing florals, right? Now, because it's this little tiny wing, if you look at pictures of turkeys, the wings on this wing, the feathers on the wing are tighter. They're more compact. So it's okay if you don't leave a full inch in between your colors. If you're planning and you want to get all 3 colors on the cookie, that's fine. Just know you're probably not going to be able to do it in a 1-inch swipe. You're going to have to start cutting it back to like 3/4 inches. Okay. Yeah, everybody okay? I don't see any questions over there. When you get to the wing, if you feel like using the baby spoon is too much, then switch to like the handle on the end of a fat paintbrush or use the pointy palette knife. But just make sure you're cleaning it literally between every stroke because if you're not, what's going to happen is you're not going to get that little bit of water is what allows it to glide through and make those beautiful dimensional areas, right? Like what we've done there. And the technique of where you're pressing in and then pulling all the way down, that's the other thing that gives you those cool areas. And if anybody does go back and do this big bird using brush embroidery, please send me a picture because I don't know if I'm going to get time to do them in brush embroidery, but I really want to. I just don't know if I'm going to get time because even though I told everyone that I was going to be on vacation for Thanksgiving, they're acting like it's some new news, even though it's been posted for a couple months. So I'm starting to get people going, oh, wait a minute. What do you mean I can't order for Thanksgiving? You aren't going to be here. Nope, you're fine. Go talk to daddy. Go get daddy. Nope, go get daddy. They always tell me when I've been on longer, when I'm coming up on an hour. At an hour, it's like they want a break. That's it. They want me off the computer. And by the way, I love time change, but my dogs have no idea what time change is. They don't care. We're falling back an hour and we're supposed to be able to sleep. They get up every day at 5:30. So now they get up every day at 4:30. And it takes several, go get your dad. I'm serious. It takes them several weeks to adjust. And let's just say they did not adjust this week. Okay. I don't know how it is at your house, but not adjusted at my house. All right, let's go back and finish these. And the yellow should finish us up. A little bit of water. Oh, you can't see the water. Okay, so I just have this little itty bitty, very thin layer of water. I'm not dipping the whole spoon. I'm just putting the back of the spoon. And I'm only doing the spoon because that's what I chose to get my pattern. I tried several different things. We went over that in the first part of the video, and I just liked the look and the way it spread by using this pointy baby spoon. Yeah, they're so confused, Laura. It is. They are. It's just like crazy. And I'm like, I can sleep another hour. There's 3 days a week where I can sleep past that time and not happening for them. Yeah. Yeah. Especially Miss Penny. Penny Lane is like, I don't know why you guys aren't up yet, but somebody needs to get up and go to work. Right? She's like, you're not supposed to be here and I'm supposed to be back in bed. All right. Oh, I love this. I do like doing these turkeys. All right, I'll be done in a minute, Pin. So you guys getting excited about CookieCon and about the retreat, the unplugged retreat that we've got planned? So just know if you don't get CookieCon tickets, we're going to have a great time up on the mountain. Oh, love it. All right, we're going to do the last row of yellow, and then this guy will be done for tonight. Do you guys like it? Wide-eyed. I bet they are confused. I mean, it's bad for the animals and for us as adults. Imagine little kids. They're like, what is happening? Because their bodies don't adjust that fast. Now you see I'm not doing all the way around. I'm just doing enough to get back to get some coverage for this. And also, if you weren't with me earlier in the video, the same color icing is the icing we're going to use on Tuesday to do our cornucopia. And I should be back to full speed by Tuesday, and we'll be back on schedule, and I'll have everything caught up. And for those of you that are with me tonight, Jen Mosier is going to be on doing cocoa butter painting on a Christmas poinsettia for us on Monday night, but she had something come up at her main job. So instead of doing it at 4 p.m. on Monday, she's going to be with us at 7 p.m. So I did put a time change up, but something was going on with Facebook yesterday and it wouldn't let me adjust the event time. So I'll check that again tonight. And if it's not working tonight, then I'll fix it tomorrow. I'll just keep checking it till it lets me change it. I did put a post up about it, but it would not let me alter the event. So it's been a fun week with Facebook too. So now you can see I'm just working side to side to work all of my feathers to end up in this final direction down here at the bottom. Can you see how I'm doing that? Because I don't want to lose the direction of pulling them this way, but now I need to kind of guide it back this way just for the feathers to finish out nice. All right, well, there you have it, you guys. Do you like it? You like it? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yes, all righty. Looks good so far with you guys. So here's my plan for the face. I'm going to tell you how to make him serious if you want him to be serious. If you want him to be serious, and I can do this part right now because it's going to be the same, but using my thick consistency red with this cutter, you can pressure pipe. I'm going to start at the bottom though. I'm going to have to do this upside down because I'm right-handed. Okay, so just hang with me for a minute. So I'm going to work like this, and I'm pressure piping so I get the squiggles, and I'm just working it upward. And this is supposed to be rough looking. I don't want to come back and bust it all up and all that. So I'm working right to left, pressure piping so I get the ridges, and then just continuing to pull this upward. Okay. And I want that 3D. If you look at some turkey pictures before you start working on this, because really the messier you get it, the better. It'll look more realistic. So if you were doing a serious turkey, you'd come back and put a black eyeball right here, and you'd pipe a beak right here, and you'd do the rest of this red. Okay? See what I mean? All right, so that would be your super serious one. This part's the same on either turkey, but what I'm going to do is turn his head so it looks like he's turned and looking at you. So he's going to have some angles here. Okay, so for me, I have to bridge this gap right here. Okay, so don't do this if you want your bird to be serious, but that's not where I want his beak. So I just need to turn that a little bit, and then I need to take just the tiniest bit of this icing and smooth it downward. Okay. So I don't need that to be as high. All right, so that should do the trick. And then I'll make a little flood icing. And tomorrow, when I get home from the shop, I'll finish this guy up, okay? But he would be pretty as a serious bird too if you have a serious China pattern or something, okay? So you can do him either way, but let me try to lift him. Hopefully I won't break him because he is big and we've introduced a lot of liquid back onto him. So I'll just try to do this carefully. And obviously make sure you don't touch all the fragile little places, but let's lift him. So do you see the detail we got with the pressure piping? Right, and then let me flip this. Always worried I'm going to break it. So if you had airbrushed the wings or the side of the cookie, if you want to get real serious about covering that, you could have done that. And can you see his foot's lifted? Since we did all that other dimension on the wings, it didn't seem right not to give him a lifted foot and give him turkey toes. Okay. I'm also, because I can see it now that I've turned it. Do you see right there where some of the brown's coming out? I'm going to quickly try to do a little cookie hospital work right here and see if I can pull that brown out so it's not so noticeable. Because if someone photographs that, that's the thing they're going to notice. So I might just pipe a little yellow in there and use a brush. I didn't catch that when I attached the wing earlier. So let me see if I can do a little repair work because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that brown underneath after we did all that work on these feathers. So I'm going to put a little yellow in there. And let's see, where's my, yes, here's my rough brush. This is the brush I always use when I want to rough stuff up. And can you hear it? So it's a stiff bristle. I'm going to get that just a little bit damp. I'm not going to go in and pull out. I'm going to push it in. Okay. I'm going to push it in there like I'm just painting over top of that. So it makes it like almost like I'm doing royal icing glue, like I'm putting a 3D piece together. All right. Because I don't want to mess up. And I'm just basically pulling it up the side of the cookie, but now it's totally covered. Can you see that? So just that little bit of extra effort there. If you get a open spot you don't like, something small like that, you can usually fix that right away. All right. Well, this is part 2 of 2 Tutorial Tuesday, which had to be done on Friday night because on Tuesday I got a little headache. I say little, it wasn't little, but anyway. So, this is finishing up part 2. This looks okay right there though, right? Don't you think with the brown? That looks fine because that looks like a separate area there. I think that's okay. I'm looking on camera now and analyzing because I want to take some nice pictures and I want to use this for Thanksgiving display. When this is totally dry, it'll be solid again. And then you could put it up on a cookie easel if you want to. So you can put it upright on top of like a little wreath or something, like lay a wreath flat on your Thanksgiving table in the center. Or maybe you have a cornucopia and you want to put it up next to the cornucopia or in the front of it. This will get very solid once all the icing is totally dry. So what we'll do tomorrow is we're going to turn his head so that it almost is like, let me just sketch it so you can see in case you guys get busy with it tonight. We're going to turn it where it's almost shaped like this. Okay. Let me just show you like that. It'll be about that big. That's about the right size for him. So let's do this so you can see it a little better. That'd be about the right size. And we're going to totally cover that area. So just thin your red out. You don't have to take it down to bare cookie, but you can get a better idea of what his face is going to look like if I pull this off. Okay. All right. So I'm going to end this video and I'm going to come right back immediately. So watch for me. Like it's going to take me 2 minutes to end it and come back in. And we're going to talk about the unplugged retreat. So tell your friends, especially if you have anybody that wants that info. I want to keep that separate from this video as I start to add those so that I can pull them and move them into the group once you all have started registering so that I can keep all that separate. Okay. All right. Come back and see me in just a minute. Enjoyed spending Friday night with you and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.